Okay guys, so in today's video, I'm gonna talk about the Habs players that left. The guys that are gone via free agency, as there's been a lot of players coming and going over the past 24 hours. And it's kinda strange, you know? After the playoff run that Montreal just had, don't you think that the band would stick together? Well, things have sure changed. So let's get into it. But first, before I begin this minor rampage, if you guys are a fan of the Habs or you're gonna miss Corey Perry a lot, then please consider subscribing to my channel as I upload a ton of hockey content and would really enjoy having some more of you grasshoppers tag along for the ride. Now, Phillip Danault. Let's get it right out of the way here. Some of you guys are probably not gonna like what I've got to say right now, so plug your ears. I don't know. You see, you can't please everybody. You can't please every listener. Plus, I don't really give a shit. I'm gonna tell you what I think, and that's the best I can do. Phillip Danault, he was home. He was playing hockey at home. Marc Bergevin brought him in here from Chicago, and it really seemed like these guys had some kind of magical bond from the day he was drafted in Chicago. They had this whole Batman and Robin thing going on, and Danault flourished in Montreal. This is where he made his name. He had the privilege the past few seasons of playing alongside the likes of Brendan Gallagher and Tomas Tatar, two guys that score often, and this trio was the top line in town. They were dangerous offensively, and they were dynamite in their own end of the rink. And then, boom, it all goes to shit. Because Phillip Danault needed a new contract. And supposedly, before this season even began, Marc Bergevin, you know, staying on his toes, he went out and offered Phillip Danault a contract. To get it out of the way before the season even began. And it was reported like 1,000 times that Phillip Danault declined this one. He turned it down. He thought he was worth more. And then he went on to have a miserable season, statistically. The guy had 5 goals this season. 5 goals! I mean, even George Laraque scored a hat-trick once. Just saying. Friggin' Casey Cizikas had 7 goals this season for the New York Islanders. Again, just saying. And I know Uncle Phil is good defensively. He did great in the playoffs. He's good at his own end of the rink, but so are a lot of guys that are bottom 6 players in the NHL. Look at Arturi Lehkonen. He plays great defensively. Yoel Armia, he's wicked defensively. Yada, yada, yada. The list goes on. Phillip Danault would go on to put his house up for sale. And right after the playoffs were over, he kind of admitted to the media that he was scared of the emergence of Nick Suzuki and Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and how these guys were probably going to move ahead of him in the depth chart. And he would sign with the Los Angeles Kings for a 6-year deal worth $33 million. Which, if you ask me, is a similar contract that was offered to him at the beginning of the season by Marc Bergevin. Now, I know, the taxes are different. He had some little no movement clause in there for like 3 years, I think. And all that jazz. But come on! You just had an awesome playoff run with what seemed like a tight-knit group of guys, and then you throw it all away for an extra few coins with the Los Angeles Kings. What? Jeez. I don't know. Goodbye, Phillip Danault. Thanks for everything, but goodbye. I'm the first guy to admit the Habs are going to miss him this season. I'm going to miss him. The local pizza guys are going to miss him. If he could have just accepted what he was, that being a second or third line center, and stuck around to be a mentor for Nick Suzuki and Kotkaniemi, rather than, you know, publicly say he's kind of scared of these guys, and sounding all jealous that these guys could be taking your ice time. Anyway, that's all I got to say about Phillip Danault right now. He's gone, and somehow he's going to be more happy playing for Los Angeles. Behind Kopitar. God, I love saying that name. Kopitar. I just hope, for Los Angeles fans' sake, when Quentin Byfield reaches his potential, Phillip Danault doesn't, you know, get all sad because he's got a lesser role. I had an article on the screen here for the past little while with some quotes that Danault made yesterday after he was signed by LA, in case anybody wanted to read it. I was planning on reading it out myself, but I don't know. It's mostly just a pile of shit anyway. Best of luck, Phillip Danault. Now moving on. Things just keep getting worse, as the Habs also lost Corey Perry today. He signed with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I had high hopes that this guy was going to re-sign here for the Habs and play on the fourth line again, but it didn't happen. The Lightning signed him up to a 2-year deal, and this is a guy that I'm going to miss. Old Grandpa Simpson Scory Scary. He was a wicked guy to have on the team for the youngins. You know, he could sit Cole Caulfield on his lap and tell him stories about back in the day when he played with the Ducks. He fit into the lineup last season like a glove. Once he got in, he didn't come back out. He scored some huge goals, scored some big playoff goals, and then a couple of weeks later, boom, he's gone. Now my guess is the Habs offered him some kind of 1-year deal, and he decided to take the 2-year deal from Tampa Bay. I'm not 100% sure if that's how it went down, but that's what I'm assuming. And that sucks. That's more leadership gone down the drain this year. Shea Weber's out, Corey Perry is gone, things are changing. But best of luck to Corey Perry. And guys, cherish these photos. These are all we have right now. Print them off, put them on your wall next to John Lou or Patrick Swayze and whoever else you got on your wall. Anyway, that's enough. Now, on to another major player that the Habs had last season that is now gone. And I'm talking, of course, about my boy, John Mural. The man who had hair like a horse, he's gone. I'm fighting back tears here. John Mural has been signed by the Minnesota Wild. Mark Bergevin, he tried everything he could to keep the guy on the roster, even offering him a 1-year contract valued at $15 million. But the Minnesota Wild outbid the Habs and signed him up to an $850 million contract for 1 year. That's a lot of money. In fact, that's the most money that any NHL player has ever made, but I think we can all agree that John Mural is worth it. His 1-year deal came with a fancy no-trade clause, and he's got a full-year pass at Tommy Guns. Moving on, let's get serious again. Now, as for Tomas Tatar, the guy hasn't been signed anywhere yet, but I think he's gone, okay? Don't expect to see Tomas Tatar back, I'm just saying. Even Brendan Gallagher got on his little Twitter account today and he made some kind of a farewell message to both Phillip Danault and Tomas Tatar. So we're just going to have to hang on a little while longer to see where he goes. So, one thing's for sure. The team that we saw in 2021 has drastically changed. I'm not sure if Bergevin is done yet, but I hope he's not, okay? Because there are still some holes to fill in the lineup right now, if you're asking me. Anyway, guys, that's it. That does it for this video. Go on now. Get out of here. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.